Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. This is IMAX Sports with another football video, and today I'm going over my Week 7 predictions for the 2022 NFL season. I've been stumped this year. There's been a lot of crazy upsets and a lot of teams that I have not expected to do well that are doing a lot better than I thought. So, with that being said, sorry I didn't do this yesterday. I had an insane day, so I'm doing it today. So let's get right into it. First off, we have Thursday Night Football, and we actually have a decent Thursday Night Football game with two teams that are matched up properly with something of an offense. We have the Saints and the Cardinals. There was one touchdown scored in the last two Thursday Night Football games combined. I think that this one will be a little bit better. We have the Saints, who are getting healthier by the week. There's hopes that Michael Thomas will be back for this week, but again, nobody's sure. And then for Arizona, because he's been hoping to be back for the last 4 weeks in a row. As for Arizona, the Cardinals are not doing as well as some people thought that they would. I thought that they'd be better than 2-4 right now. They looked good to start off the year, and then they've had a bad stretch in a row. I think that both of these teams are going to get a little back on track this week, and I think that the Saints are going to pull it out. Moving on to the 1 o'clock games, we got Cowboys, Lions, Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Falcons, Bucks, Panthers, Titans, Colts, Giants, Jaguars, and Packers, Commanders. I have the Cowboys beating the Lions 31-23. I think this will be a high-scoring offensive game, but the Cowboys' defense is still extremely dominant. I think the Lions will get their points, but I think that the Cowboys will be able to control the game. Ravens, Browns, I have the Ravens winning 29-27. I think that this is a home game for Baltimore. I think that that's going to be a big advantage, and I think that they're going to majorly control the game. I think they're going to be up 27-3 going into the fourth quarter. The Browns are going to tie it up, and then the Ravens are going to get a safety in overtime to win the game. Titans, Colts, I have the Titans winning 27-24. Tennessee has had they're 3-2. Sorry, they've had an okay season. I think a lot of people thought that they're going to be about as good as they have been. I think that they started off rough because they lost week 1, but since then they've been able to kind of equalize and look a little bit better. The Colts, again, also had a bad start to the season, but they've been able to equalize, and they're 3-2-1. So both of these teams are 3-2 currently going into this week, and I think that they're both going to have a decent game. I have the Buccaneers beating the Panthers 41-20, and I have the Packers beating the Commanders 38-10. These are both get-right games for these teams. If either of these teams lose, they're going to both be below 20 in the power rankings. If the Buccaneers lose to the Panthers, they're going to be below 20. If the Packers lose to the Commanders, they're going to be below 20. This is the game for both of these teams because they're against the easiest teams in the league. If they don't win these games, if one of them doesn't win one of these games, then I don't think that they're going to be making the playoffs this season. It's obviously very early to say that, but Week 7, in my experience, is one of the biggest weeks of the season, and especially for these two teams, it could be a turning point between continuing on the path to making the playoffs, making a wild card spot, or in Tampa's position winning the division, or if they lose, then they're in a really bad spot. I have the Bengals beating the Falcons 34-30. I think that this will be a tight game. Atlanta hasn't had a blowout yet. They've made every single game close, and I think that this one will be close once again. The Bengals' offense has looked a lot better since Week 1. One of the best offenses in the league. The Falcons have been pretty consistent, even without Cordell Patterson. I think they're going to keep it up. Giants, Jaguars, have the Giants winning 23-16. Strong defensive battle with some offensive prowess on both teams. I think that Daniel Jones is going to have another game with 20 passes and like 100 yards because that's what he's been doing. And I think that the Jaguars are going to have a lot of yards, but they're going to have a lot of turnovers and a very poor red zone conversion percentage. For the 4 o'clock games, we have the Raiders versus the Texans, Chargers versus the Seahawks, the Broncos versus the Jets, and the Chiefs against the Niners. I have the Raiders beating the Texans 31-13. This is, again, much like the Packers and the Buccaneers. This is a must-win game. And I think that with the Packers, the Buccaneers, and the Raiders, they're all going to have blowouts this week. They're against the easiest 3 teams in the league. If any of them lose one of these games, they're done. And I think that all 3 of them are going to have massive wins. I have the Broncos beating the Jets 20-19. Again, Week 7 is the biggest week of the season. If the Broncos lose this game, they're done, in my opinion. I don't see them coming back from a 2-5 start with the team that they have and the offense that they have. I don't think that they're going to be scoring a lot on this Jets defense. I think that their defense is going to need to win it for them, and I think that they're going to win 20-19. Seahawks, Chargers versus Seahawks. I have this being my 50-50 game this week. I have one every single week because I really want another one because that Rams-Chiefs game was amazing. I have the Chargers beating the Seahawks 57-51. Obviously, this is an unrealistic score. I think it's probably going to be in the 30s for both teams, but neither of these defenses stand out, and both of the offenses have been very consistent and very strong. And I think that this will be a high-scoring shootout. And I think that after coming off of a win to the Broncos, where the offense really didn't play well, I think that the Chargers are going to have an amazing offensive performance against the Seahawks, especially if Keenan Allen comes back, because he's been slated to come back for a while now. Chiefs and Niners. I have the Chiefs beating the Niners 27-23 in the Super Bowl 54 rematch. I think this will be a tight game. I think that it's going to come down to the wire. And I think that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to keep the Niners in it, but Patrick Mahomes will win on a fourth quarter comeback game-winning drive in the fourth quarter. Sunday Night Football, we have Dolphins-Steelers. I have the Dolphins winning 35-24. I think that the Steelers are going to put up a fight, but if Tua is back in the game, I don't see them having a chance of winning. The Dolphins' defense has been fairly consistent, although not as good as the last two seasons. That was one of my problems with them coming into the season, was I didn't think their defense would be as strong, and that's clearly been the case. This week, I think that the Steelers are going to be able to have a decent showing. They were able to have a decent showing against Tampa's defense. That makes me think they'll have a stronger showing against the Dolphins' defense. As for Miami, I think that they're going to run all over the Steelers, and I think that Tua is going to have a great game coming back if he is able to come back. I know he's cleared. I think that he's going to start. So if he does, I think that he's going to have a pretty solid game to get them back above 500. For a Monday Night Football game, we have the Patriots against the Bears. I have the Patriots winning 29-12. Kind of a weird score. I think that there's going to be 9 field goals. This is a really bizarre Monday night game. I don't know who decided to put the Bears against the Patriots for Monday Night Football. I guess they were thinking, let's have a really strong defensive game for Monday Night Football. Not that they don't have enough of those already for Thursday Night Football, but I think that it's going to be a solid defensive game. The Bears have scored an average of 15 points per game. The Patriots defense letting up less than 20. I think that the Bears are going to have a pretty hard time getting it into the end zone, and I think that the Patriots will as well, although I think that they'll move the ball pretty well. The Bears haven't allowed 30 points this season. I think the Patriots are going to stay under that 30 mark, but I still think that we can win by 2 or 3 scores. So, those are my predictions for Week 7 of the 2022 NFL season. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Comment your predictions, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.